Hi Phoenix family. This discussion for this video is the psychic clairs, and I want to talk about the psychic clairs in a setting such as I'm going to use a hospital, a place that's haunted. I'm going to kind of refer to that to help you understand how the clairs actually help you, and for those of you that know about the clairs, how you can understand them better, or for those that do not know about the clairs, maybe having an understanding will give you an idea as to why you feel, hear, or see something, or you don't see, hear, feel, or anything, and yet others claim that they do. And so, having an understanding of these clairs will give you a better view of both sides of the coin there. Let's see, also, real quick, before I get into the clairs, and we can have another video on this topic altogether separately if you guys want it. But I want to reiterate the ghost, spirit, and entity of when a person passes on, and some of them choose to stay here, and some of them reincarnate rather quickly. Although I do not know all the details of exactly when, how, or why reincarnation works, I do know that it does happen. I have spoken to many of entities, and I understand that some of them pass on quickly, and they move on to another life very quickly. I also understand that some pass away and then they stay here on Earth. With that, I also want to put out there very strongly before going into the clairs that spirits are literally everywhere. So if you're a person like me that likes to watch videos or documentaries or anything like that of haunted houses, the truth is that everything is technically haunted. And that is because spirit is everywhere. Spirits are come and go as they please, where they want to, when they want to, and how they want to. Yes, they do have different energies. Some is negative, some is positive. As I said, we can certainly get more into that into another video. And if you are interested in it, comment below, and that is a topic we'll work on. However, I need to put that out there because saying that almost every place, actually every place that you go to, is technically haunted, it will help you to understand the clairs, because you might be in some place or several places and be like, I never saw anything, I never heard anything, I don't, this place is not haunted, and yet somebody else will come along in the same place and say, well, yes it is, because such and such happened. Or take one of the greatest hospitals or asylums that are recorded as haunted, and you have several people that fill out reports or whatever, and record things that they've seen, heard, or felt. And then you have others that go to the same exact place, they spend the same time there, amount of time, they go to the same rooms, and they come back with like, well, nothing happened. So the reason why that is not because of the place, it's because of the people. It's the living and the abilities that they have. Some people have one or more of these abilities, and some people actually have all of them. I don't know anybody that does not have any of them at all, but I do know of people that have one or so and not aware that it is an ability. Most times they mark it off as coincidence because they have no other rational way to explain it. So I'm in hopes that I'm going to go ahead and explain the clairs to you, and that you can understand a little bit better of what you have seen or heard or felt at any point in time in your life, or going into the future. If you decide to go to a place where it's been reported where there's a lot of activity, you can get an idea of what your clair abilities are by the knowledge that you have. So right now would be a really good time to go ahead and pause the video, get a pen and paper, because if you want to take notes on any of this, something that you can refer back to, now would be the time to do it. Okay, so here we are. We're about to go down the list of clairs. I'm going to be honest with you and tell you that I'm giving you a decent list, but there's a very large list of clairs. I personally have picked out the most common, and I have picked out the ones that I feel are actual clairs. A lot of things that I have found on other lists just seems like one clair broken down into 100 different names for the exact same thing, and I personally thought that was a little bit pointless. So I took the clairs for what they are, which is covering every sense in your body, the five and six senses on top of channeling. Okay, so real quick, channeling I don't consider necessarily a clair, but it at the same time it kind of does fall into it because of the abilities that clairs bring. So we'll get to channeling at the last one. All right, here we go. Here's my little list. I wrote them down so I don't miss any of them. All right, the first one is clairvoyant. Clairvoyant is a very common clair, and it's referred to as psychic. When you have met somebody or know somebody that is clairvoyant, the psychic label is put on them automatically. Clairvoyant is the ability of vision. Often, this vision can be in somebody's personal life, such as past, present, or future, and also for spirit communication. They see with their physical eyes. They have the gift of vision. For a live person, that has nothing to do with the seeing spirits or entities. What the clairvoyant is able to see is what the path that you are on. They're able to see things, or even, okay, you're headed to work and you're getting ready to get in your car. Somebody that's clairvoyant may see a wreck that's going to happen or has happened in this area, and they'll be like, hey, you know what? Maybe you should take the other route. Those are clairvoyants, the ability to see. The next one is clairaudient, and audio, the ability to hear. Okay, like I said, I like to use haunted places for this kind of example to explain the clairs. So I'm going to stay at the asylum. Seems to be a good place to work with, because everybody likes a good haunted hospital. Why not? So the clairaudient ability is when you are in a place that has activity and you are trying to record an incident and you hear certain things, and say you turn to your other fellow friends that are with you doing this ghost hunt and you say, did you hear that? And they say, no, but I didn't hear anything. It does not mean that it did not happen. What it means is that you have the ability to hear. You have clairaudient. Okay. The next one is sentience, which is clairsentience, which is feeling. There's actually two that come under the clairs with feeling. One is clairsentience and one is clairtangency. And I'll explain both of them. The first one, the clairsentience, is a spirit, entity, ghost in the area, whatever, that approaches your physical body and touches you, or pushes you, pulls you, or whatever. They are able to make connection with you. That is actually your ability. Believe it or not, it's kind of crazy when you put it like that. It's not that you are under some kind of attack. It's just you have the ability to feel them trying to make a connection. The clairtangency, which is the other side of it, is a spirit, entity, or ghost in the vicinity of your space, your personal space, and you are able to reach out and touch them. You can pull, push, or shake hands with them. That is clairtangency. Okay, so then the next one is clairscent. Scent is the ability to smell. I'm going to stay at the asylum, at the hospital, the greatest haunted places. It just works better when describing this. So you've been in a hospital before, or a doctor's office, and you've picked up certain smells, whether it be an antibiotic, maybe a morphine, bandages, or even illness itself. You can smell it in the hospital, clinic, doctor's office, wherever the case may be. So you're at this hospital, this asylum. Nobody's lived there for however long, and it's been reported that there's a lot of activity there. You go there, and you're checking things out, and of course there's the smell of old and decay and everything, but you suddenly get a fresh smell, and that fresh smell is maybe antibiotics, or maybe morphine, or maybe an illness. It just comes out of nowhere, kind of wafts right through, and you get the scent of it. That is clairscent. That is your ability to smell the entity or spirit, or what they have brought with them, the impression that they bring with them, the scent. You pick it up. You are using one of your abilities. The next one is gustance. Gustance is taste. And the best way to explain this is to start with like a glass of tea. When you make a glass of tea and you intend to drink it. You hold the cup up, and before it ever reaches your mouth, you smell it. Okay, you get a scent of what you're about to taste, and you take it to your mouth, and then you pour it into your mouth, and you have the full taste of the tea that you intended to drink. Okay, the clairgustance is having that ability to taste without having to have drank that tea first. And what I mean by that is, say you're in back of the asylum, you're at the hospital, you're checking things out, you're on your little ghost hunt, and all of a sudden you taste tea. Like you literally feel like you just drank the glass of tea. And what that is your connection to what's going on or what has happened in that asylum before. Maybe in that area you might be really close to the kitchen where they prepared food or prepared drink. And your ability, your Claire is able to taste what they had drank in the hospital. So there you go. Okay, Claire empathy. Claire empathy is also feel, but it's a different kind of feel because this isn't touch. This isn't being touched by entity. This isn't, you touching them. All right. What this is feeling as an emotion. So you're in this hospital and you are in an old patient room, and the patient or several patients, you never know, but a patient that was in that room was ill, not just ill as in sick, but maybe they were sad because they didn't want to be there, or because they didn't have any visitors, or whatever the case might be. So you come in to visit this area and you suddenly are overwhelmed with sadness. That is a Claire. That is an ability called Claire empathy. Okay? Same thing goes. Maybe you go in a different area of the hospital, and maybe in the doctor's lounge, and one of the doctors in there was constantly working on something, and who knows, maybe he just didn't quite get the formula right and he was quite angry. So you're in his office, you're checking things out, you're looking for activity, and you suddenly feel angry. Like the anger just overwhelms you for no reason. And the reason why this Claire can be so overpowering is because it can influence you to actually feel anger. Like, I don't mean just to feel the anger around you, but you yourself become angry without cause. Okay, so you leave this area and you go over here. Well, the anger is gone, but now you have to evaluate the situation. Okay, let's see. What happened to make me angry? What led up to this? I know I felt angry, but why? Okay, and then you can sit there and go, but nothing happened. Nothing caused me to be angry. So that means I'm just come from an area where an entity had left the impression of anger, and my ability picked up on that. That is the Claire empathy. Okay, so I've given you sadness and anger, but there are also other emotions. Happy, excited, even exuberant, sexually aroused, even, and these are all emotions, and emotions can be felt in Claire empathy. Okay, and then, as I promised, the last one is channeling. Channeling is a Claire, but it's not a Claire. It kind of, I'm going to leave that entirely up to you, what you decide on that. That'll be your opinion. I personally, if I was making the list myself, I would not have considered it a Claire. But there's a lot of people that do. So I'm putting it on the list so I don't leave it out. Channeling is with either the living or the deceased. To start with the living, let's say you want to channel me, okay? So what you're doing is you are focusing on me. You are concentrated on me. You want to understand how I would feel, how I would act, how I would think, how I would react, okay? So you're focused on me, you're channeling me, and you're pulling in my energy, and you are projecting your energy to me. This is channeling. And then you use what you have pulled from me to handle the situation that you're in, or to come to a compromise or solution for the situation. Okay. And in the deceased part of channeling, Same exact thing, except you are channeling somebody that has passed on. If they have not yet reincarnated, which I spoke about at the very beginning of the video, then you can channel them as to how they would react, think, or feel, but you are projecting to them and then pulling from them. However, channeling the deceased is a little bit more difficult because it is a different energy. The energy from the living is so much stronger than the energy of the deceased. The reason the energy from the deceased feels strong is because of your clair senses. How strong your clair senses are will determine of how strong the entity feels, when in reality it's not them, it's you, it's your abilities. Okay, so I've covered the clairs for you, the psychic clairs. If you have any more questions, please comment below because I would love to answer them. If you can think of a clair that was absolutely important that I absolutely missed on here, please put that in the comments below also because I love to learn just as much as you guys do. Okay, so I think that's it. I think we covered everything. If there's anything else you guys can think about, comment. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe to the video. Get it going, move it on to all our friends so we can continue learning and teaching together. And have a good night. I love you guys. Mwah.